The real terrorist is the Azovilla. The headquarters of Boko Haram is the same address of Tinubu. So if you post a letter to Tinubu, if it doesn't come out on time, Boko Haram will collect the letter and read it and pass it to him. They live together, they work together, they plan together, and they share together. People are more focused now on solution, and the broad outline of that solution is that Tinubu should be gone. Just like Tinubu said on May 29, 2023, subsidy is gone. On May 29, 2027, I want to be in Eagle Square announce Tinubu is gone.
Our guest on today's edition of the program is the Social Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Prince Adewale Adebayo. You've consistently criticized President Bola Tinubu's government for worsening insecurity and poor living conditions. In some specific terms, can you highlight how some of his policies had really impacted Nigerians negatively?
Well, from what I'm gathering from Nigerians, they feel less secure, they feel particularly unsafe, they feel inconvenienced, they feel uncertain, they feel fearful, and they feel abandoned. And you will see that the security policies haven't worked. There's no one who has the confidence to hail a commercial transport without thinking of one chance. There's no one who wants to travel in the night that his family members will not take to a psychiatric hospital. You think, have you lost your mind? Why are you traveling at night? But even traveling the day has become something in which you have to be a prayer warrior. And if you manage to make it back home, you will meet empty store in your house, no food. And if you are not careful, if you go back to work, your employer will tell you there's no money to pay for the salary. And if you get the salary, it can't buy you anything. And if you are complaining, majority of people surrounding you will say, oh, you are lucky to even have a job. So start with. People live in poor housing condition, no electricity, no water. Even internet broadband is getting worse. You can't make a complete telephone conversation without the call dropping. And if you are worried about the poor condition of your housing, your landlord is going to increase the rent. And you have children at school. Even the government has become their Shiloh. Government that, under the Constitution, is obligated to give you free and qualitative education, or at least affordable and qualitative education. It's giving you teacher strike and student loan. So you take the loan, government now becomes your creditor. Yet, the education is not being offered because the teacher is on strike. So, and if you worry yourself too much, you have a headache, then your problem has just started. You go to a hospital, if they tell you how much you have to pay, the headache will become a migraine. So, and that migraine will become a depression where you discover that at the end of the day, you give you the medicine, there's no food to eat, to take the medicine. So that is the scenario that is a living condition of the people. You don't have to love or hate President Tinubu to get this fact. Even if you conduct a research inside the villa, State House, those who work there, some of them beg for transport money to go home. And they work for the president of Nigeria. So that is the state of Tinubu economics. And that is the state of Tinubu security, or lack of it. And in the midst of all of this, there's an obscene obsession with politics and politicking with everything. So where do you go? You cannot go 5 houses before you meet a Renew Hope ambassador. Every ideal politician is a Renew Hope ambassador. But the country itself has no ambassador.
The government has no hope.
Exactly. And so that is the situation with the state of the country. So you don't have to be on opposition to say, in fact, the real opposition now are the hungry people. So telling them what they already know is, there's no creativity in that. It is a final solution. That's what people like us are out for. We're regaling the country and with the litany of problems that we have. Every list of your problem becomes old when you wake up the next day. Because new problems join. So it's people are more focused now on solution. And the broad outline of that solution is that Tinubu should be gone. Just like Tinubu said on May 29, 2023, subsidy is gone. On May 29, 2027, I want to be in Eagle Square announced Tinubu is gone.
Looking at what the issue of insecurity, which is the paramount thing now, and the Constitution talks about the cardinal responsibility of any responsible government is the protection of lives and property. We are discussing negotiating with terrorists here and there. They release today, they go back and pick again. How do you feel as a Nigerian?
There is no negotiation with terrorists. What you have are official terrorists and bush terrorists having a conversation. So what you call negotiation is the discussion about sharing formula between the official terrorists who bring the money and the unofficial terrorists in whose name they are collecting the money. It's a racket. They are running a racket in front of you. There's a lot of money in government, and insecurity is one way to collect it without receipts. That's what they are doing. They're just scamming the Nigerians. There is no insecurity in the land that Nigerian armed forces and Nigerian police cannot get rid of under a good presidential system, under a good presidency. They will get rid of it. What they are doing is just scamming you. Just that they are constructing roads to nowhere. They are building bridges that will never finish. There are a lot of projects in the sky. They found out that all other projects, you ask them, where's the road? Where's the bridge? Where's the school? But if they inundate you with insecurity, you cannot, and they say they have rescued 500 children, and 500 billion is gone. You cannot ask for receipt. If they are in the bushes, exchanging food and drinks with terrorists, and tell you that they have spent 4 trillion to keep you secure, you know you can't ask questions. That's why the president will tell you, every president will tell you, I will finish them. But when he comes in, they finish him with money. And he feels, okay, this is an easy way to raise money for campaign. That is why Nigeria has, in the world of hotel business, Nigeria has the highest number of military generals owning hotels, estates, and everything, on a salary of how much?
All right, let's look at, let me play the devil's advocate. If you have made the president today...
There are no devils in the country already, but you go ahead.
All right. Let's see, if you have made the president today, how will you address some of these challenges that you have pointed out that have consequence of almost failed Nigerians? How will you address it in 30 days?
The first thing to do is that you have to get a priority right. You have a pact with whoever you are going to make Chief of Army, Chief of the Navy, Chief of Air Force, Head of the IG of Police, DG of DSS, DMI, NIA, Civil Defense. You talk to everybody. I want the terrorists gone in 30 days. If they don't go in 30 days, you give me a letter of resignation. Simple. I'm not recruiting one more person to join you. I'm not doing anything. I am telling you in 30 days, or if you think you can't do it, don't take the job now. So that's the understanding between you and me when I'm giving you the job. And you will say, I can't do the job. Give it to the next person. I retire you and go to the next person. Until I find somebody who says, yes, we die here. Either, sir, I will be dead, or the terrorists will be dead. That is the person who can head my armed forces. Anybody who wants to go and run for governor later, saving money for it, go and find out what is the trajectory of all the service chiefs we have been having since 2008 when they foisted this scam for Boko Haram on us. Go and find out. Their trajectory is towards politics and big business. So I need to put a stop to that. Second, I need to govern the country according to the law. There is no terrorist who should be bigger than the divisional police officer in that division. Anything that will make me have a DPO in a police division that has a smaller gun than a terrorist, then I don't have a police. The biggest gun in the land ought to belong to the army. The next biggest gun should belong to the police. And there should be no terrorists who should be able to upset the armed forces. I don't know if you have organized a choir before.
Sure.
Once your choir members are up to 45, you must buy Panadol extra to coordinate them. Imagine an untrained person who happens to be a fanatic or a lunatic, and he says he's setting up a band of terrorists, and they are occupying territories the size of a state. How are they financing it? The logistics of it, the communication, and the whole country cannot raise an army to defeat them. If a terrorist is recruiting, before you can get 1,000 people, the government will know that it's a terrorist already. Government can quietly recruit 100,000 soldiers and nobody will know, and train them. A terrorist can be sponsored by 2 or 3 countries. Nigeria has 146 international friends. Many of them have treaties with us that will not stop them, that will not allow them to give excuses not to assist us. And many of the terrorists are well known. They have telephone numbers of governors. And every commissioner of police in the state has the telephone number of terrorists in that state. So, I will end this scam. Oh, and clear. There's nothing complicated there. The real terrorist is the Azovilla. The headquarters of Boko Haram is the same address of Tinubu. So if you post a letter to Tinubu, if it doesn't come out on time, Boko Haram will collect the letter and read it and pass it to him. They live together. They work together. They plan together. And they share together.
How do you mean that the headquarters, the address is at the villa?
Because the villa, the state house, is where all this criminality is being planned. If you deceive yourself and think that Nigerian army cannot defeat the terrorists, then you don't know Nigerian army. Try and whistle at the wife of a general, and you see how the entire barrack will descend on you. Try and a home minister of FCT could not collect 1 plot of land. You saw how that Navy captain stood his ground there, telling Wike, yes, you are not coming here. Imagine if every captain stood their ground and said terrorists not entering Nigeria like that. If the armed forces strong enough to stop a minister who is representing the president from misbehaving on the land that he has interest, say, I have my orders. So are you telling me, if the president of Nigeria gives an order that the whole of Lagos State should be evacuated, the army in Lagos will evacuate everybody? If they give an order that the whole of Kano State should be evacuated, the army has enough capacity to evacuate the whole state. The president made a proclamation, and the entire government house was forcibly evacuated in 1 day. So you are telling me that the president wants to end this thing, he will not end it. But their political money is tied to it. And if you think maybe because I don't like them, which I don't pretend about that. Go and read the EFCC reports on what Jonathan did with the money he borrowed in the name of fighting Boko Haram. You are a journalist. You saw the trials. You saw the investigation. who was collecting the money. The money was shared to politicians, girlfriends, contractors, hospitals. Let's say we're even a nation of cripples. That sometimes in the past, there was no proper polio vaccination. And majority of Nigerians are crippled, we have no leg. We have enough resources to hire mercenaries to kill the Boko Haram and terrorists and bandits. 5% of the money we make from gas, liquefied LNG, is enough to hire mercenaries. There are countries that are small, like Qatar, Kuwait, and all of that. And they have vast land. It's impossible for them to raise an army. Because the entire population is like a campus, a university campus in Nigeria. But they hire experts, and their country is still safe. How can Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, all those tiny population countries have feelings you can drive anywhere you like? I travel to those countries, I drive day and night in vast open land where nothing to stop you. You want to invade. Nobody is invading them. Your TV station, I've seen you with a number of drones because you like to cover a wedding, a football match, or anything. But our Nigerian police will be using word of mouth to look for bandits and terrorists. They can't even hire a drone. And they have billions. The person Tinubu put as his Minister of Defense, of all the people in Nigeria today that know something about defense, says that bomb cannot enter bushes. That when the bush is too thick, a bomb cannot enter. That's how we can catch terrorists. That is the Minister of Defense. Even in a comedy skit, a Minister of Defense will say, no, this is too stupid. I can't say it. But he said it. So governors who were known and were accused of being Boko Haram collaborators, they are the ones who put in charge of defense. So if you are a terrorist and your best buddy is in charge of the army of the other side, won't you go and buy a bottle of champagne and first chill and say, okay, the business has continued? So they're not serious. It gives the feeling to Nigerian people. They make the army look fatigued, so that when you see the army, you don't have confidence anymore. I remember during the time of 2023 election, was late 2022, I was campaigning to Zamfara State. I will go to the border and the army said, sir, you cannot pass. It's night, there's a curfew, nobody can pass here. Yeah. We have somewhere to go. What do you mean by that? They say, Boko Haram's on the way. We say, well, we still have to go. I want to be commander-in-chief of armed forces. How can I not be able to walk around my country again? So if escort us, they say no. So one of my campaign managers, Lawa, said, look, let's go and get vigilante. And we got vigilante. And they enter our convoy. And we go and we were going and they will say, look at Boko Haram people there. And the vigilante came down, chased them, and they were running and we passed. And I came back and I gave an interview on TVC that, hey, this thing is a scam. I went somewhere 2 days ago and the army told me nobody can pass. And I took vigilante and we chased them away and we passed. That's far back as 2022. It's 3 years plus now. So what I'm letting you know is that big coup in Guinea-Bissau that they just did now. If they tell the 3D, the 3rd Division of Nigerian Army, go and flush them out, they will go and flush those people out. Nigerian Army, Nigerian forces can flush out Boko Haram, and Nigerian police can secure this country if there's a political leadership that says, do it. But there's nobody who is a commissioner of police, AIG or DIG, who too doesn't want to be a billionaire, and a governor, and a minister, and a senator, if that is the business of the day. There's nobody who's a general who sees his cosmate building hotels, estates. Go and take Nigerian Army military intelligence, just watch the spouses of your military officers. See them go to Madeira, go to Dubai, go to Cancun, go to the best places, shopping and buying things which the lifetime salary of their husband cannot afford. when serving military officers are sponsoring people for governor, concerning for that. So I don't blame them. I blame the person who claims to be commander-in-chief, who is not doing the job. So that is what is happening. And if Nigerians don't understand that the spelling of Boko Haram is the same spelling as government, and that if the government wants to do it, they can do it. And your job is to make them do it, not to listen to any excuses. Make them do it.
All right, let's move on. There are so much hardship in the land. Fuel prices, since the removal of subsidy, the price of fuel has been jumping up and down. And of course, the naira, the purchasing power of the naira is virtually nothing to talk about. Food inflation is hitting the rooftop, and so many others. And you've been very vocal in addressing some of these issues, condemning them. If you are to ask, what is your economic rescue plan?
It's basic. First, stop the stealing of government money. Then stop running a lawless government. Follow the Appropriation Act. First, account for all government money. Then write a proper budget. And ensure that your budget is compliant with Chapter 2 of the Constitution, Fundamental Objective and Directive Principle of State Policy. If you follow that chapter of the Constitution to write your budget, there will be very little money left to steal. Because you would divert your money and devote the money to security, to housing, to nutrition, food and nutrition, to health and social services, to education, and to infrastructure. And when you do all these investments, every naira you spend, for every 1 million naira you spend, you will hire 100 people. So if you have a budget of 100 billion, you hire 100,000 people. If you had 1 trillion, you hire 1 million people. That is how it works. There's no magic in public finance. No magic. Then you will make sure that the government does not spend money it doesn't have. So you don't resort to borrowing. And you have to ensure that you have value for money. So not that this is your beautiful tile. When I came in, I saw it. I said, oh, Victor has a way of getting these beautiful tiles. But if you were to buy this tile for a minister, they will tell you that the tile is 2 million naira. Because the committee to decide the color of the tile alone, they will go to Hilton Hotel to go and hold meetings. So that's why procurement cost is high. Then they cannot do a project management. The entirety of Ministry of Works are just agents of contractors. They cannot on their own patch a pothole. I've been monitoring a pothole, about 3 or 4 potholes, on your way to the headquarters of Nigeria Ministry of Works house. If you finish this interview, you can enter my car with me. I'll show you the potholes. I've been monitoring them. They don't have enough engineers inside their headquarters to come outside and just fill the pothole that is just close to their headquarters on the way that the minister has to climb over it on his way to work. So they don't have project management. There's no executive capacity in the government. So I will restore executive capacity in the government. There's no reporting. There's no feedback, because those who are in supervisory and leadership position in government are not interested in their subordinates. They are not asking them questions. They are not receiving report from them because they are insular. So if the president discovers that he left 2 pairs of shoes in Lagos and one of his uncles is not feeling fine and he wants to go there, all the service chiefs, Minister of FCT, NSA, even his own chief of staff, who's supposed to help him coordinate, they will all go to the airport with their own supporters, waiting for the man who wants to go to Lagos to see his uncle and retrieve his 2 pairs of shoes he left there. And on his way back, they will also line up and be introducing themselves. I'm the same guy who works in your office, who saw you up yesterday. I'm back to see you. He starts shaking hands, doing the drama. No, that people are waiting for them. Theater, totally unserious set of people. that the IG of police cannot sit down in Abuja and from the command and control center monitor everything happening state by state. He has to be told by a politician, president, go to Kebbi. I mean, did you see the picture of Egotokun in Kebbi with those red coats, standing there giving salute, playing music? Bandits are in the forest, but the IG of police is coming as if it's Police Memorial Day, standing there. They're waiting for him in the sun. And they sang and sang and sang, and they disappeared. He came back and said, yes, they are still kidnapping people there. So they're not doing the job. So it is not that this job is hard to do. It is that the essence of government, what government stands for, they don't know it. So when we come in, you will see it, that this is the government. Because how will you know? Government renders services. From the cradle, once your child is born, the government will say, once you report yourself and say, I'm a woman and I'm pregnant, government has a program for you. They have a program for immunization, prenatal one for you. Then they have this prenatal and antenatal for you. When the baby is born, the baby is recorded by government. And the baby has rubella and all those other vaccines to take, anti-polio and all of that. And then the government knows the time that the child is supposed to go to school. And the kind of food the child must eat in school is there. So when I was in primary school, and I went to a government primary school, they had a chart, they measure our height. And they had a chart of food we must eat. And when you come from home, they check your food you brought from home. Then the school will add milk and other things and give it to you there. So, then you say that is essence of government. Even if your cat is missing, and you go to the nearest police station and say, my cat, Lucy, is missing, they're not going to laugh. They're going to say, really? Where did you see it last? They're going to put a picture somewhere. I help you search for your cat. But the whole family is missing. Nobody cares. So, we don't have a government, but we have people in power. I'm not Fela. If I was Fela and Nicola Kukuti, I would have said they are vagabond in power. But I'm not a singer. I'm a politician. So I cannot sing. But Fela will say vagabond in power. Because the country is being looted and there's no responsibility. If there's no water in your house, who in government do you call? I say there's no water here. Nobody. If your community is being invaded, who do you call? Nobody. You call association, you go and create a gate by yourself and lock it. If your child did not pass school certificate, who do you call? There's nobody. You go and do on your own. If a member of the family is missing, you go and tell your pastor. You go to fasting and prayer. Or go to the mosque. They start 20,000 rakas of prayers also around you. There is nothing that is important to you and your family that the government wants to take responsibility for. That's why there is no government. Tinubu had the mandate to form a government. He formed a circus. You have to put an end to that circus. Put a government in place.
All right. You warned against military rule in the face of coups and rumors of coups. Do you think government failures, bad governance, left, right, and center, as we are seeing Guinea-Bissau, could push Nigeria into another mistake of a possible military rule?
Military of where? The military is part of the government. The military are in government now, and they have their primary duty to secure the country. Are they doing it? So they are part of the government. So there's no, it's the same elite. They are all in that racket together. So what is the military going to gain by doing a coup when they're already taking their own share of the loot? Are you not sad? Are you not seeing the state of the military? Are you not sad? If you were, when I was growing up, if a soldier who is just a corporal or sergeant had a fight with a motorist on your street, and that motorist assaulted the soldier, and the soldier goes away. When I was growing up, everybody on that street will leave. That when the soldiers come back, nobody is here is spared. But you could kill a general, and it is as quiet as anything. And I was expecting smoke to incinerate everything in that forest.
All right, you are a lawyer and, of course, a philanthropist with resources. And some people say that you are part of the elite that are being disconnected from the people. How do you respond to this?
It is not my fault that I'm elite. I was elite by nature. But all the time since I was 14 and I became conscious of status, I've always tried to help the common people. I started floating my own scholarship scheme when I was 14 years old. So to be elite is not, it's a responsibility. I come from a ruling house that has been in power for over 1,000 years. So I cannot decouple myself from that. And I belong to an elite profession that controls whether you die or live, whether you collect your property or not, whether you are right or wrong. I belong there. But have I abused power one time? Have I abused privilege one time? Have I shagged from duty one time? Have you found me collecting what does not belong to me? Have you seen me in anywhere not performing the function? Am I not a good citizen? In my state, where I live, for close to 1 decade, I always automatically collect the taxpayer of the year. Nobody challenges that anymore. Every year, the Nigerian Institute of Taxation nationwide invited me and said you are the most exemplary citizen when it comes to paying taxes. And I give out a lecture on how at the annual conference of taxation. So I invest in Nigeria. I practice all over the world, but I invest in Nigeria. The Nigerian Institute of Architects gave me an award. I only came second to the Central Bank of Nigeria as the highest and best patron of Nigerian architects in construction. So you cannot say that you found me drinking a bottle of water and throwing the empty bottle on the street, dirtying the street. I planted more trees than the Federal Ministry of Environment. I challenged the Ministry of Environment and the minister in charge whether the whole ministry with all the budget, with all the money they collected, Ogoni, green belt, whether they have planted as many trees as I have planted. So what else do I want to do? Then I put my head in this politics, which people regarded as dirty. People were advising me, don't go there. Since I entered politics, have you seen me buy a vote? Have you seen me using a thug? Have you seen me violating anything? So, you cannot just use the same brush to paint the angel and the devil just because they are both celestial beings. You have to have your own value. So, what do Nigerians want? When they were talking about Muslim tickets, Christian tickets, Igbo this, Yoruba, I warned you that these people are friends and they are coming to scam you. Ask them cogent questions about their understanding of the purpose of government. Because Thomas Hobbes said we will live a life that is nasty, brutish, and short if we don't form a government for ourselves. Is our life not brutish, nasty, and short in this country now? So that is the reason why I'm in politics. I joined the SDP in 1991, Bishop Street, Lukoju, Lagos. I was 19 years old when I joined the SDP. Abiola won the election. They beat the hell out of us. We went there. If you go to a Lagos police station, you will see my records there. We will be fighting and fighting. Till Nadeko, till exile, we came back. PDP was in government, looting and sharing for 16 years. Did I join PDP? APC and their occultic brigandage that they have been doing for the past 10 years. Have you seen me join them? I remain in the SDP until our people meet us where we are. I don't want to do a politics that meet the people where they are. Pander to them, say what they like, so that we can capture power and leave them where they are. We are inspiring our people to meet us where we are going.
You've just mentioned 2027 now by implication, and is by the corner. Is SDP going to align with other opposition parties to form alliances to go for the election, or are you going to go solo?
We are going to align with Nigerian people, because democracy is not for political parties, for the people. It is people that form political parties. So we are trying to reach a consensus with Nigerians on what do you want. Because history has shown that many people don't know what they want.
Mm.
If a woman is carrying a baby, 2 babies are on the ground malnourished, the husband is out of a job, the adult child is unemployed, the sister is in the hospital, the mother is a pensioner, has not received her pension. If you ask her, what do you want in government, she will still tell you, it is the turn of my tribe to produce president. Abandon all the problems she has. He's talking about the turn of my tribe. You will see a man who is highly educated, who retired from service, pension on regular, has 2 daughters who are in university, doesn't know how they go there. They are carrying expensive handbag more than his own salary, using telephone that he himself cannot buy. His house is leaking. The landlord has given him quick notice. When you ask him, what do you want for a governor or president? He wants somebody who is of his own religion. So we need to take our people from that level of unarticulated subconsciousness into articulated consciousness, so that they know how to select their leaders. Because for every jab you throw at Tinubu, I have the confidence to throw it because I'm throwing the jab at the people who voted for him. Even if you account for rigging, account for Yakubu Mahmoud, account for Abracadabra, there are still enough people who back Tinubu. And if we do election today, there are still some people, in spite of what is glaring, some people, if only they put their foot in the pit of hell and is burning there, they will still vote for the devil. So it is the voter that we are focused on. Because I am not ready to be president until the people are ready to have a president of my type. And it is my job to get them to that level of consciousness. Because I'm not going to start talking ethnicity, religion, and all the other bala blues and bulabas. I have to talk of concrete issues. And if the concrete issues haven't entered the mind of my people, we are not ready yet. It's my job to get them ready, and that's the job of the SDP. And that's why people should respect SDP. We are not doing what my grandma used to call, my grandma used to vet whenever we did homework or exercise. My grandma will check. So she will check the answer, then she will check the working. So if the working doesn't work, she will say, this is wuru-wuru to the answer. So we don't want to do wuru-wuru to the answer. Well, we just gang up. Okay, Tinubu is unpopular. He has mismanaged the economy. He has mismanaged security. He has mismanaged the state, the trust. He has mismanaged humanity and decency. So people are angry with him now. Let us gather together and snatch power and give to another person who will do exactly the same thing. I don't want to join that. I want to let people know that something is wrong if a fine lady of fantastic character marries 7 husbands in succession who are all bad. By the time you get to the 7th husband, people will say, you need to go and check yourself. Military, not good. Obasanjo, not good. Yaradua, not good enough. Jonathan, very, very bad. Buhari, dead on arrival, bad. Tinubu, iconically and catastrophically bad. Are you going to choose the next one too? And make it worse than Tinubu? Because people believe that Buhari was the least. After we have reached Buhari, we reach the end of non-performance. Then Tinubu came and said, you haven't seen anything yet. So are you going to now do a politics that's going to give you another president that will make Tinubu to be laughing? Tinubu will be on his yacht on the sea in France and start reading about hunger in Nigeria, start laughing. You see, when I was there, they said I wasn't good. See them now. So that is the consciousness we want to get now. That's what SDP is about. All these we are joining together, no problem. We are saying, where are the voters? What do they want? How do you have a country that has been looted dry like this and has 89 million voters and only 18 million will show up to vote? Half of whom are ready to sell the vote right there for any amount.
All right, let's look at still on 2027. P2P in 2023 galvanized the youth through the vehicle of the obedient movement. Why did the SDP not tap into that? And did you, at any point in time, probably try discussion with him on collaboration in 2023?
Collaboration to do what? We don't agree on the same thing. I'm as unhappy with Tinubu as I'm unhappy with Obi, as I'm unhappy with Atiku. They look the same to me because they frighten me by saying they're going to remove subsidy on day one. It's like having your family member in the hospital on life support machine, and 3 doctors are contesting to be the head of that hospital, and each one says, I'm going to remove oxygen from the patient on day one. You say one has youth with him. How does that concern me? It is what you do with the power when you get there. And I try to talk to party, talk to all the people surrounding, and say, do you really mean you want to do this Igbo thing? And they kept nodding that they are going to do it. So how am I going to join you? It's like 3 people discussing on Christmas Day. One says, let's fry the chicken. The other says, no, let's roast the chicken. The other one says, let's boil the chicken. Which one will chicken vote for? How does he have the chicken? None of them have the chicken. You fry the chicken is dead. You boil it, it's even more dead. You barbecue it, it's spectacularly dead. So the chicken has no business with any of them. The only one who said, let's spare the chicken, that's the one chicken should vote for. And that's me. So that is not about sentiment. You can gather all the youth in the world and lead them to perdition. So we need to make sure that the government we are trying to form is a government that helps the people to reach their potential. When I get angry about the money they are stealing, about the road they are not paving, about the education they are not giving, about health care they are not providing, about the nutrition that they are denying the people, about the poor infrastructure, and about the general cutting short of people's lives by all kinds of anti-people and anti-human and offenses against the human person. What I'm angry about is the talent they are killing in the country. The talent that they are killing in the country. I have a relative who lives in Lagos, still schooling in Lagos, produce drones that the US Army is using in Ukraine, and has not reached the age of 22. And if the Nigerian government didn't know about him before, they knew about him recently when he had a problem with the Egyptian government. And that's because he's my nephew, that's how I got to know. Do you know thousands of other young people who will have been the brain box of our armed forces today? So they are letting our people miss opportunities. So it is not that I'm jealous that they are blowing siren. It is that they are blocking the flow of intellect in Nigeria. And politics is the way to do it. I cannot carry a machete and go to the villa and say, Tinubu, get out of there. It's unlawful. But I can carry microphone and go to you and say, let us vote him out. And it is your best interest as you are voting him out, because there is nothing in our ballots for voting people out. The only way to vote people out is to vote somebody else in. And you have to make sure that the person you are voting in is better, more dedicated, more knowledgeable, and is willing to do the work. Tinubu is there as the official traditional ruler of Abuja, waiting, sitting regularly for people to come and bow down before him, for governors to come and defect to his side. You are a governor, you are coming, he doesn't ask. How are you securing your state? How come people are kidnapping people in your state? How can I assist you? Work with law enforcement, because in 3 months' time, if this killing doesn't end in your state, I will have to step in and use federal powers there. And I will do whatever it takes, including suspending you and getting the job done. He doesn't do that. He only tells them, come on, join APC. And they take photo and they dance. That's all he does. Or if you don't listen to him, they can declare emergency for politics. But for security, no. So that is why we have problems. There are no problems. Who the heck are these bandits? Are you not seeing them on TV carrying all those light weapons and some dead anti-aircraft useless things that they're carrying in their hand? If you carry that in front of proper soldiers, they will laugh at you. They're only using them to frighten the public. The government arranges them to show up like that so that you can say, hey, they're real low. So the terrorists are real, truly. There is no major in the Nigerian army that you show all those bandits that he will not laugh and sit down and say, what kind of rubbish is this one now? So should I finish this people off now or tomorrow morning? There is nobody. But they know that we are working with a government who is running insecurity as a program, as a manifesto. So we'll continue.
Let's look at your party.
Yes.
There has been an uneasy calm in your party, disquiet, if you like. Who is the, do I use authentic or what, national chairman of SDP? Is it Shehu Gaban?
Shehu Gaban was our former chairman. He has since been removed. That was not an issue anymore. He's been removed. There's no issue in that one. There's no disquiet in the party. There's no. We was a witness of a June 8, 2022 convention at International Conference Center. That's why we elected Gaban and elected the rest of the executives. There has been no other convention since that time. So Gaban was the elected chairman. But sometimes in the June this year, the executive that he's presiding over said that some things were amiss, money missing, other issues, and they set up an inquiry. At the end of the inquiry, they said that Gaban should go, National Auditor should go, and the youth leader should go. They are the people implicated. And the National Auditor voluntarily resigned and apologized and resigned and left. And then later the party took a decision and removed Gaban and then put Sadiq Abubakar, the deputy national chairman, as acting chairman. There's nothing changed. Every other person is still there.
But he's saying he's still the national chairman of the party.
If I say I'm the Obi Bonita, what can you do? I have freedom of expression.
He said he has the backing of INEC. He has a document from INEC, official document from INEC.
I am not to argue with him. I don't have a problem with him saying anything. If he says the Emir of Kano, what's my business? Did you hear in Kano the other time? This one say I'm the Emir, the other one say I'm the Emir. Did he change Kano? I cannot stop him. If he says he's the national chairman for life, no problem. You get my point, the party continues. But the party has taken his decision. And when it suits him, he's going to either continue to say so or not say so, but he hasn't said that to me. So, and I'm not going to criticize him if he says so. Maybe he lies the position.
But his name is still with the official INEC correspondence.
Where is it? Have you gone to INEC?
The national chairman of SDP.
I have not seen such. All I know is that if you write a letter to INEC today and say who was elected as president of Nigeria in 1999, who would they tell you? They will say Olusegun Obasanjo. Is he still in office?
No.
So it's going on when you write your letter. If you write to INEC and say, who showed me the elected executive of the party as at June 2022, they will tell you. They will give you a list of the people. Some of them may be dead. Thankfully, in our case, nobody is dead. Some may have resigned. It doesn't concern INEC. INEC will give you the list. But if you say, who is the chairman today? That's the question you should write to INEC. But I've seen some things in the media. I know journalists, they used to read before. Now, maybe because of social media, what's the point reading again? You just retweet whatever they see. But in the past, journalists will read and say, wait a minute, let me read this letter. What does he say? Because journalism used to be a profession where you read, like law. So that I saw one media, not you, because you are much better than most, but the media house was showing me a letter. I said, read the letter now. The inquiry made was, tell us the executive of the party as elected. And I gave you the list as elected, including the name of everybody who is contending is there. So why is that relevant to anything? And High Court has spoken on it, Court of Appeal has spoken on it, Supreme Court has spoken on it. So that's not an issue at all. And you know that also a political party is not for the glorification of the executives. It is for the mobilization of its members. And it's not for the members alone. It's for the members to use that political party to go and convince Nigerians on the new direction. So that's why my party politics is not focused on fighting for secretariat like PDP, where governors will be throwing stone and their Bavarica will be hooking the fence of the building or pouring tear gas. That's why you see in SDP, we don't have you ever seen us fighting over entry office premises, fighting over anything? No.
All right, let's wrap up this way. The Southeast continues to feel that they are marginalized, and the latest judgment against Nnamdi Kanu life sentence for many of them reinforces that. What's your take on the judgment on Nnamdi Kanu?
Judgment on Nnamdi Kanu is a legal judgment. And the only problem is that you are looking at a legal judgment from a political eye.
How do you mean?
If on your wedding day, your brother-in-law takes 2 bottles of Coke from your bedroom to go and give to his friends, as far as he's concerned, he's celebrating your wedding. But if you take it to police, it's a thief who has stolen 2 bottles of Coke. And if you take him to court, the court will say, who is the owner of the bottle of Coke? They say, Victor. Who stole it? His in-law. In-law is sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for stealing a bottle of Coke. The judge has still not ruined your marriage, but he's doing his job. Because it's not the business of the judge to know that you have an in-law and that you are doing banco and that he's not supposed to ruin your family. And that if he jails this person now, your wife will pack out of the house. It doesn't concern the judge. He's just applying the law. The problem is not with the judge. The problem is with the government that took Kanu there. Because a political problem is not solved in the courts. The encounter between Wike and that soldier, or that Navy captain, if you take both of them to court, they will both go to jail.
How?
Because the soldier there is trespassing. That's not a Navy property. That's not a Navy dockyard. He has no business there. And the minister who is talking and insulting and being rude there is causing disturbance of the peace. Because that's not the job of a minister to call somebody provocative names. All of them there. But does it happen? If you look at PDP headquarters, have you not seen the video of people lining up to collect their sacrament of flogging? So all of them who went there have committed affray, breach of the peace, vandalism, housebreaking, assault, everything. So if you charge all of them to court, would the court not jail them? Well, would that resolve the problem in PDP? So Nnamdi Kanu's problem is a political problem. And they took it to court. The court leaves the judge out of it. So it doesn't change anything. It changes nothing. You still have to find a political solution. And when I come in, that solution will be found on the day I'm sworn in. The day I'm sworn in, I found that solution that same day. Because Nnamdi Kanu's problem is like a house owner who slaughters the cock for crowing. But the cock crows when he sees the sun. So even if we slaughter this cock, the next day when the sun rises, another cock will do kukurugu again. So how many cocks will you slaughter before you address the issue? There was Uwasurike before. Before Uwasurike, there was Ojukwu. Before Ojukwu, there was Isaac Atakaboro. In between, I have the Igboho and different people, Gani Adams, all sorts of. Don't you understand? It's like a person who is sick and is angry with a thermometer for showing him that he has high temperature. He breaks the thermometer and buys another one. Until you cure your malaria, your temperature will keep rising. And the thermometer will keep telling you your temperature is rising.